Hey guys, this is Neil here at Spardella Arms. We're here in Vermont in January and it is currently 19 degrees out. I wanted to shoot a quick video while I'm out here on the range and discuss a little bit about why some people find it more difficult to shoot a handgun accurately versus a long gun like a shotgun or a rifle. I can't tell you how many times I have talked to experienced shooters who have shot rifles and shotguns all their lives. A lot of guys around here in Vermont are hunters. You know, they grew up hunting with rifles and shotguns, and there's a lot of excellent shooters that I've met that when the subject of handguns come up, they give me some sort of version of, well, I can't hit the broadside of a barn with a handgun. Something else I've heard of a lot, here at Spardella Arms, we make custom 1911s. And when that subject comes up, I'm typically asked, by people that are, say, not into handguns as much, why would somebody purchase a custom 1911 versus a production one? And the answer is there can be many reasons. I actually have a video discussing, the history of custom 1911s, and if you want to watch that. But one of the big things is accuracy. Typically, with a high quality custom 1911, you can expect better accuracy than a production gun. And a lot of times, talking to people that say aren't as into handguns or never became, accurate handgun shooters, they typically tell me, well, handguns aren't accurate anyways. So, and which is frustrating when you are somebody who has invested the time and developed the skills to shoot handguns accurately. But it is a common misconception that I hear that, well, handguns aren't accurate anyways. So I wanted to just discuss a few of the reasons why, as a generality, handguns can be harder to shoot for the average shooter than, say, a rifle or shotgun. Okay, so we have a AR-15 pattern rifle here. I have removed one of my gloves for this demonstration, even though I'm not going to be shooting just yet. This is an empty gun, no magazine, chamber empty. And we are handling the rifle safely on a range again. So your average shooter that is familiar with shooting long guns, say was properly trained and knows the basics of shooting a rifle safely, when we discuss rifle shooting, typically, if we're firing from the standing position or off a bench, either way, you have 3 solid points of contact with a long gun. Technically 4 if you have a proper cheek weld, but you have typically a support hand on a forend. You have your shooting hand or strong hand on the grip. This is, of course, a pistol style grip. And then you have your shoulder in the buttstock, which looks something like this. So you can see 3 points of contact, and when I properly weld my cheek to the cheek rest, you have 4 points of contact on the firearm to stabilize and align it for your shot. So if you think about it, of course, the fundamentals of any accurate shooting are a good hold, a smooth trigger pull without jerking the trigger. But if you were to, say, not have an ideal shot, such as you jerk the trigger or clenched your whole fist instead of simply pulling the trigger with your trigger finger, a long gun tends to be fairly forgiving. Obviously it's dependent on the range that you're shooting. If you're shooting at a moving or a stationary target, there's a lot of variables, but you can see that with a long gun, just by the nature of how you shoulder and hold a long gun with those 3 or 4 points of contact, you can really control a long gun, reasonably well. Now, let me grab a shotgun and let's take a look at that. Hey guys, as you can see, our scenery has changed a little bit here. It is just so cold outside right now that it killed the batteries in my camera. So we've moved into the shop here for the rest of the filming. Anyways, on to shotguns. This shotgun is unloaded. We're gonna continue to handle the firearms in a safe manner. You can see I do have ammunition on the side plate. I'm not gonna take those out. The gun is unloaded. So this is just the same as the rifle. We have 3 or really 4 points of contact when properly shouldering the gun. You can see creates a very stable platform. You're shooting a long gun with 3 to 4 points of contact, and it's a very stable form of shooting. Let me put that down here. Now, onto the handguns. What most people consider a handgun is a single point of contact firearm. Now, if you're shooting two-handed, does that make it a 2-point of contact firearm because you're using 2 hands, but both of your hands are basically gripping, a single grip? That might be up to debate. This firearm is also unloaded. This is one of our guns, a Spardella Arms custom carry in 38 Super. This is a 5-inch gun, beautiful gun. Shameless plug, if you are interested in custom 1911s, check out our website, SpardellaArms.com, to see how to order yourself one of these guns. So the handgun, when guys who are used to shooting rifles and shotguns and are not so well versed in a handgun, go to shoot a handgun, there can be some reasons why they're not shooting as accurately as they normally would with a rifle or shotgun. To demonstrate the grip, you can see, like I said, a lot of people would say that's 1 point of contact because, you're gripping the grip of the handgun, and even with 2 hands, you're really gripping, one part of the firearm, but, 1 to 2 points of contact, I'd say. And you can see that it's just so much easier to misalign this firearm. Whereas with the long guns, with the 4 points of contact, you can control that gun if you are firing at a moving target, if you if you say jerk the trigger a little bit instead of pressing with a nice clean press, your margin of error is is simply less oftentimes with a long gun. I can tell you a lot of things I see new handgun shooters do, um, even with targets that are fairly close. You know, say they're shooting at a silhouette target that's 10 yards away, and uh, you know they hit it the first 2, 3, 4 times, and then their next round goes into the dirt right next to the target or right in front of it. If you think about it, that at a reasonably short distance, like 10 yards, is quite the miss. You know what causes that to somebody to put rounds into the dirt in front of the target, just say. And typically that is some kind of a flinch. You know, they're anticipating the shot, and you know, your brain knows that there is recoil coming. The firearm's going to recoil, so it tries to compensate by flinching and jerking the handgun down. And of course, you know, you can miss quite wildly with a handgun if you develop a bad enough flinch. Now, just say with a long gun, just imagine what it would take for you to jerk the gun that far off target. I mean, you're talking, you would have to substantially drop the gun, which, you know, it would be pretty exaggerated for somebody to do something like that. You know, if you were to jerk the trigger, or you know, another common shooting problem can be, instead of pulling the trigger slowly, smoothly, and cleanly with your trigger finger, you clench your whole hand to pull the trigger. That's another form of jerk or flinch. But you can see, even if you don't have the greatest trigger pull or flinch slightly, it's much easier to keep a long gun, you know, controlled and pointing at your target. Basically, you know, a pistol exaggerates all of these fundamental shooting issues that can occur. If you have a flinch, then it's going to be much worse shown on your target with a handgun than with a long gun. So what are the takeaways on this? Well, I would say, first of all, as for reasons that you might be having trouble shooting a handgun as well as you do a rifle or a shotgun, is that a handgun is less forgiving of things like flinching, jerking the trigger, anticipating the shot. Anything that moves the gun off target before the bullet is out of the barrel. A handgun is typically less forgiving than a rifle or a shotgun. So if you are finding yourself having trouble shooting a handgun accurately, sticking to the fundamentals is really going to help you. As for sight alignment, sight picture, controlling the gun, your hold, you know, pressing the trigger in a smooth, controlled motion, not jerking the trigger, things like that. It really focusing on the fundamentals is going to help you, because a lot of people just simply don't know that they are flinching with a handgun. You know, something else you can try is dry firing. So again, we're handling the firearm safely, pointing in a safe direction here. Our handgun is unloaded. Again, check physically and visually. So dry firing a handgun I have found to really help me eliminate issues like flinching. Because remember, a flinch is not always something that happens only to inexperienced or new shooters. Experienced shooters can develop a flinch. In the world of handguns, if you are used to shooting auto loaders in 45 and 9mm, and then you go shoot some large Magnum revolvers, just say, you can develop a flinch, and so dry firing can be a way to correct issues like that. And what you'll find is when you dry fire a handgun, you will see issues like that. So you might see that you're jerking the gun down, whereas when you actually fire the gun, you don't really feel that happening so much. So once you can identify that you're doing that, you can work to correct it. Obviously, what you want is to smoothly press the trigger, and you don't want the gun to move at all. You want when you have proper sight picture on your target and sight alignment, you want to press the trigger and you want to let the gun fire as intended without moving that gun off target. Something else you might consider if you're really struggling to shoot a handgun accurately is to get some proper instruction by a professional instructor. There's absolutely nothing wrong with going to a shooting class or going to a shooting school that shows you the proper shooting techniques for a handgun, and I think that can benefit a lot of people. And of course, another way to increase your shooting skill with a handgun and become more accurate and proficient is simply practice. So many of the guys that I talk to that make claims like pistols are inaccurate anyways, or they can't hit the broadside of a barn with a handgun. They simply have not shot enough to become proficient in shooting a handgun. And yes, of course, ammunition is expensive, but like any other skill, if you want to become proficient or get better at shooting a handgun accurately, you really need to get out to the range and shoot the firearm. Shoot your firearm. Become familiar with the particular handguns that you own, and if there really is no substitute for practice. You can study the fundamentals of shooting and read 100 books on the subject, watch a lot of videos, but there really isn't a substitute for actually going to the range and practicing. So anyways, if you've watched till the end of the video, thank you so much for watching. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel if you like this sort of content. And if you're interested in custom 1911s, please check out our website, spardella-arms.com, and check out our products. Thank you.